Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I had the pleasure of chatting with American country singer, songwriter, and American Idol Season 19 contestant Alex Miller. This news episode, Alex joined me to talk about his favorite Merle Haggard, Vince Gill tunes, how he picked up the love for playing lap steel guitar, songwriting passion, news EP country, and more, as well as if there are any upcoming projects. Now, with that being said, hope you enjoyed my conversation with Alex. Hello.
Hey, how you doing today? Good to see you again.
I mean, it's wonderful to be able to reconnect with you again, and I know that you have a lot of things in the works, and I know you have a lot of things that are out right now, um, including your newest EP, Country.
hmm
I have to ask right off the bat. I mean, why did you want it to name it Country? Like, I know the background while doing some research on it, but if you can explain it more further for the listeners about what this EP really is about.
Well, sure thing. What I want to do with this record was kind of show my versatility in the country field of music. So I wanted to do some songs that push me a little bit and let my traditional country fans enjoy themselves as well. So with this record, I wanted to do one song that was kind of every bit of what I enjoyed about country music. Got everything from up tempo, traditional country to the more modern sound of things with The Girl I Know a Guy and When God Made the South. And I just wanted to pick a different kind of song for each, I almost would say, a subgenre of country music.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, there's been so much new things on this new EP that you've released. This whole soundtrack of this newest collection of songs that you've released. Um, if you were to choose one favorite thing, a favorite song off the EP that you worked on throughout this project, is there one that sticks out the most to you?
Oh man, that's like picking one of your kids as your favorite. I don't know. It'd be tough to say. They all do something a little different. You know, I'm a traditional country guy at heart, so Getting Lucky in Kentucky probably has my heart, and I wrote that and had that idea. So that might be my favorite. But Every Time I Reach for You is another great song, and it's a good country ballad. So I can't really answer that. They all do something a little different for me. They're all my favorites.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, before we even get more further into the EP, I want to also like acknowledge the experiences you've had after you sort of got off American Idol, because American Idol is this whole big competition show, and yeah, people get record deals, and yeah, people have careers afterwards, but there are sort of these rare artists that come in on that stage and sort of have this whole persona and this infectious love for music, and including yourself. You came in there with just yeah, I don't know how to really describe it, but you sort of had this friendly go lucky sort of personality, and you came in, you sort of sang your song, but you also got to sing with Luke Bryan, Big City, Merle Haggard, and is that sort of one of your favorite songs that you get to play live?
Yes, the show was awesome for me, and I didn't even realize how much fun I was having at the time. It was truly a great experience, and something that has completely changed my life for the better. And I've been very blessed and very fortunate to get to do the things because of that show. I've got to play and tour with some really cool country music icons, and I have no doubt if I wasn't on that show, I wouldn't be where I am today, let alone talking to you and having a good time. So I owe a lot to the show. But Big City is definitely one of my favorite songs that I get to do out live, and just because of Luke Bryan, really. So it he was such a nice man too. Getting to be a part of that show. Hopefully, I'll get on the Grand Ole Opry one of these days. I know he said he's going to take me there, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Wait, so that hasn't happened yet? I thought that actually happened.
No, it hasn't happened yet. No, Luke Bryan, he said on there that I was going to get to go play the Opry, and it's been about 2.5 years now, and I still haven't got to do it. And when I was off the show, I said, I'd wait for eternity. Well, eternity turned in about 2.5 years. So, but it's whatever. One of these days I'll get to do it. I hope, and just I got to keep doing what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely. You've got to just keep your foot on the gas and don't look back. And you absolutely have done that with everything that you've been working on recently. And I know we're going to talk a lot more about the EP, but what I didn't know was sort of, I guess the last time we talked,
Hmm.
I don't think you sort of had this. I don't know if you were already into doing like playing the steel guitar,
Hmm.
necessarily, because the last time we talked is more of like your voice and the guitar.
Hmm.
But now you've sort of picked up this thing for lap steel. Um, why was it sort of this fascination that you picked up recently and the will to learn this new instrument?
I've been playing steel since I was about 16, and so I wasn't very good. It's the way I put it. I finally got to the point where I thought, well, I'll put a few things out on social media and see how they do, and it really surprised me. But I've been in love with the steel guitar since I was a little kid. My Whenever I would listen to records, that's what I would hear is the steel guitar, and I'd hear the vocal and the guitar, of course, but what I would always be humming would be the steel guitar parts. So I've had them in my head for a long time, but now I can actually sit down and see what I was trying to do. So that's kind of where that comes from. I just love the instrument. It's something that's almost a dying art, like traditional country. So I wanted to keep that alive as well.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I like, to be honest, like I really love the sound of lap steel and the steel
Mm-hmm.
guitar. There's just something about it because the first time I heard lap steel, I think it was from Vince Gill's records that he did, and including like the albums that he had with, I think it was with Paul Franklin.
Oh yeah, that's a great
And
record. Just
you
it hadn't
know,
been out very long, but it's really good.
yeah, and like that album was just something that just captivated the whole thing. And it wasn't just that one song, it was the whole collection, the whole project, and hearing that sort of the different songs of Merle Haggard, but also like giving you a taste of what his life in country music was already like.
Mm-hmm.
And then giving you the taste of like this sort of this modern feel to country music, but also this throwback feel to what the 80s and 90s were like. Um, and That's what I love most about Vince Gill and his storytelling ability. You don't have to play one note, and Vince is absolutely like, even on one note, he gets it dead on, and it makes no mistake. Even if a song happens while he's on stage and someone just throws it to him and says, "Let's hear another solo on this guitar," and he
Mm-hmm.
just rips it like he didn't know it before, and he comes up and he just kills it naturally. That's how gifted some artists really are.
Oh
And
yeah, he's one of the most gifted musicians in Nashville, I would say. I mean, he's touring with the Eagles. He's doing a lot right, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, if there's, I guess, like when we were last talking with each other, we were really like talking about the importance of the hag, as
Hmm.
they would call him. And for people who don't understand the hag, it's sort of the nickname for the country giant Merle Haggard. Um, it was his simplicity of songwriting that told the story of a working man, and the way he grew up. Even though he did um, some wrong in his life, he sort of picked up this love for guitar, started playing, and he wrote "Mama Tried," and he just took off, and away he
Mm.
goes, and his career was an iconic one, and we salute him, and we still salute him today, and I guess as we're talking about Mr. Merle Haggard, is there one sort of that you grew up with that sort of just stuck with you and sort of pushed you to do this career?
Oh man, there's so many great Merle Haggard songs. It's hard to kind of pick one, but I'll pick one. I always like that "Holding Things Together." I always like that song because whenever I was a kid, my parents divorced. Now they weren't as nothing near as bad as what happens to that family in that song, but I just always enjoyed that song and what it said. Merle Haggard had the ability to write a song that people could hear and feel, and sometimes I think some people just write songs that you hear.
Yeah, and it's such a great song, and I love that song as well because I've kept on singing Vince Gill and Paul Franklin's version of "Holding Things Together" from his album. It's one of my favorite songs to sing. Um, but I mean, since you have the guitar right there, you want to give us a little taste of that of your version of "Holding Things Together"?
Sure, I'll give it a shot here. holding things together ain't no easy thing to do. When it comes to raising children, it's a job that's meant for two. Alice, please believe me, I can't go on and on holding things together. You gone. Today was Angie's birthday. I guess it slipped your mind. I tried twice to call you with no answer either time. But a postman brought a present that I mailed some days ago. I just signed it, love from Mama, so Angie would know. Holding things together ain't no easy thing to do. When it comes to raising children, it's a job that's meant for two. Alice, please believe me, I can't go on and on holding things together. You gone. I've been holding things together. You gone.
Well, that's such just an iconic song,
It's a
and
good one.
it's such a great song, and like there are just plenty of hit songs that Merle Haggard has done over his career and over his lifetime. I guess one of my other favorite songs was "Sing Me Back Home."
Oh yeah.
Just love that song, and I was watching Country's Family Reunion recently, and they posted the actual tribute to Merle Haggard show that they did, and I heard Mac Wiseman "Sing Me Back Home," his tribute to Merle Haggard, and the way he sang it, so slow and so thoughtfully, and it sort of transports you right back to the time of, like what would Merle Haggard say if he were to leave the earth.
Yeah.
And that song such a poignant meaning behind it. But aside from talking about Merle Haggard, I know you've had a lot of inspirations in terms of musically speaking. But I want to talk about more further about some songs in your EP. Getting Lucky in Kentucky is a great one. I was watching your Bluebird Cafe debut, and you're singing Getting Lucky in Kentucky. I mean, that's such a great song, but there's also this really cool sort of I don't know how to really describe it, but it's a song called When God Made the South. And it's so high tempo. It was like, who is this Alex Miller guy? He's transported into this whole different new level of artistry now. Like before, when we saw Alex Miller on American Idol, it was this really outgoing kid going on American Idol and just doing Big City with Luke Bryan like it's no big deal. And doing I'm Over You, So Get Over Me as another song to an ex. But I guess as we're talking about this, I really want to know, what was the thought behind this new country EP? Tell me more about it.
I love traditional country, and I've had trouble getting people to listen to my music and things like that, as all artists do. You always want to keep pushing yourself, and so I started listening to some different things, some more rock sounding things. And, my heart will always be in traditional country. And don't matter what I sing, that's what it's going to come out like. So I started listening to some Charlie Daniels and some Southern rock. And that's kind of where When God Made the South came from. And, I didn't write the song. Jerry Salley, Aaron Wilburn, and Lee Black wrote the song. But I just kind of liked the feel of it. And I thought, man, that would be really cool at my shows. And it does. It's one of my favorite songs that we do at our show. And so I started thinking more from a show aspect rather than a hardcore traditionalist aspect. In my shows, I wanted to do something that was entertaining. And because that's what my show is. It's very entertaining. It's like if George Strait meets Kiss, it's country music, but it's going to have a little bit more fun with it. And that's kind of what I want to do with South and The Girl I Know a Guy as well.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, as like it's so interesting that you mentioned that because doing some more research about this whole new EP that you've released, you sort of call it Alex 2.0 as like an upgraded version of who Alex was before, but now into this new level of artistry that you haven't heard before, but also staying true to your roots of loving traditional country music. Is that really what you wanted this project to turn out to be?
Yes, I wanted to be like Johnny Cash and walk the line between traditional and modern, and that's kind of what I'd see my career as. I will never turn my back on traditional country music and turn my back on the real roots of where I'm from. But I'm also not afraid to try new things, and that's kind of what this record is all about.
For sure. And how about we hear Getting Lucky in Kentucky?
I got you, Halls. Here we go. Well, you might call me a gambler man. I've never been afraid to roll the dice and take a chance on love. So when she caught my eye in Louisville the first Saturday in May, all it took was just one look at her to change my luck. Well, I knew I held out a winning number when she wrote it down, handed it to me and gave away. And before the first gate opened, we were nowhere to be found. Left my friends there at the track with just one thought to think. Oh, getting lucky in Kentucky, stealing kisses sweet and true. Picking full-leaf clovers underneath that old blue moon. We ain't doing nothing wrong, but they all think that I'm getting lucky in Kentucky here tonight. Here we go now. Well, they're missing me at the poker game every Friday night, wondering where I am and who I'm up with it too. Cause these days they know I never miss chance to hold her tight. Bet them guys down at the racetrack, they're still a betting on me too. Oh, getting lucky in Kentucky, stealing kisses sweet and true. Picking full-leaf clovers underneath that old blue moon. We ain't doing nothing wrong, but they all think that I'm getting lucky in Kentucky here tonight. We ain't doing nothing wrong, but they all think that I'm getting lucky in Kentucky, getting lucky in Kentucky, getting lucky in Kentucky here tonight. I'm gonna pick it, all right.
All right, that's Alex Miller performing his song "Getting Lucky in Kentucky" that you can find on this new EP, Country EP, that released just recently, and that's a great song. And it's I mean, you've done a lot of the new songs on this new project that we were talking about earlier, but you've also been able to share the stage with multiple stars during this, I guess this year's fair season. You've been able to share the stage with Drake Milligan, Noah Thompson, Dylan Carmichael, Chris Jansen, Hunter Girl, Emily Ann Roberts, Tracy Bird. That's just a few to name, and there's plenty more to come. But that's that's pretty much the stars of who we're expecting Alex Miller to be able to share the stages with at the end of this 2023 fair season. But that's not it. I mean, he's able to collaborate with hitmakers Kent Blasey, Larry Cordell, Kirsty Manna, Wood Newton, Emily Ann Roberts, Jerry Sally, Josh Schilling, and Bill White. Um, and he's done state fair performances, he's done county fair performances. But it seems like when you sort of like collaborate with these people, you sort of talk a lot about like in depth about your love for writing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you sort of said that writing with folks of this caliber has been a huge step for me. I mean, the hits they've written are crazy, but it helped me broaden my horizon musically. And when it works, you've got a good song. At the end of the day, there's no better feeling.
There isn't.
Um, and I mean, when you do write, when I guess when do you know that you've got a good song?
When I can sing it and look you in the eye the whole time I sing the song is whenever I think it's a good one. If I look away during a word or something, then it seems like that I'm not confident. And when I can sing a song with confidence and make you believe it, then that's when I think I'm doing. I got a good one, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, with this new country EP, there was also the recording process behind it, which was interesting because the producer Jerry Sally he noted that this new projects really grew your artistry. And he says that you were born with real country music in your bones. Um, and now you're sort of taking this not only this new modern love for traditional, but exploring the new sounds of what country sounds like nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
while staying again, as we were talking about earlier, just staying true to your roots. Um, and I mean, you sort of now, I guess now coming back down to earth, you sort of now realized um this sort of uniqueness and musical ability that you have with every song you've recorded and every song you've written with um and this recognizable identity within the industry. And I guess that's also important when you were on a show like American Idol. You know, you hear people like Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan and Katy Perry tell you that if you're going to be a really good artist, you're going to have to come in with an identity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to have to show people, who are you? Can I identify your music immediately? And that's when I know I have a good artist. Not only can they sing good, not only can they record songs that are great, but it can come in and have instant identity to be able to identify what songs you've written, what songs you sung on, and what how many people you've collaborated with and who were they. Um, and I guess, do you still feel like you're still learning that aspect of the business in some ways?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty confident in who I am and what I am. You know, I think I'm a country music singer. You know, that's kind of why they kicked me off the show, was because they wanted me to do more pop sounding stuff, and just wasn't having it at the time. And looking back, I could have done it, I just didn't want to. And you know, I listen to their advice. I go back and watch my audition every now and then, and just look at myself and try to think, what else can I do? How can I broaden myself? And, you know, the things that they told me when they cut me, you know, they said, you know, we'd like to see more what Alex Miller sounds like. And, you know, I'm going to sound traditional country no matter what I do, but I kind of see more what they were talking about now, looking back.
For sure. And I sort of admire this confidence that you have. It seems like you know who you are. You know what style of music that you want to make for your entire career. You seem confident in the lane that you're in right now. Um, is there anything that's going to stop you?
Only myself, I guess, but I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. My brakes are well from being wore out.
Um, Absolutely. I mean, I guess like as we're still chatting about this whole journey that you've been on, um, this EP has been a combination from everything that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Getting Lucky in Kentucky is more of a Western swing, while it's a George Strait sounding thing. Girl, I Know a Guy is sort of this really progressive thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's you sort of mentioned that you want to see what you were able to do as an artist.
Hmm.
and what didn't work. That's what this record, what worked and what didn't work, and this is what the record is for you.
Yeah.
Sort of, I guess to sum it all up in that quote itself, it seems like you're sort of still you're sort of still in this phase where um you're really in this experimental phase. Would that be
Hmm.
accurate?
I would call it an experimental phase, but I'm still confident in what I am. With the Miller Time CD, uh, it established me as a traditional country singer. And so I'm still in that lane, still in that line of thinking, and just want to expand upon that and see how far I can grow. Girl, I Know a Guy is probably as far as the box I want to push, and I made that very clear to everybody that was involved with the project.
For sure. And I mean, as we're probably still chatting here, I mean, is there another song in this EP, other than I guess what when God made the South and Get Lucky in Kentucky, and um, is there another song in this EP that sort of sticks out to you that um that you've sort of, I guess you alone have enjoyed, but like other people might think that they like the um other people might like the hit songs on the album, like Getting Lucky in Kentucky and When God Made the South and stuff like that. But is there like a song, like I guess like a song that didn't make the record, I guess,
Hmm.
during this whole process that you sort of fell in love with, but you were like, I don't know if it belongs on the CP yet, or should we release it later on as a single and see what people think about it?
There's a song that is coming out the first of next year that I would say that I wanted to hold this song back. It's a very special song to me. It's about me and my granddaddy, and I lost him this past well, not this past July, but about a year ago. And so I wrote a special song about him and my relationship, and that's what I'm excited about. And I wanted to hold that song back for this next project, and hopefully we'll get some good radio play with it. If you have a heart, it'll make you cry. So uh, I that's what I'm excited about. It's called My Daddy's Dad.
For sure. And we send our heartfelt condolences to you and your family, and well, we wish you nothing but comfort and love during the difficult time. But like, I guess as we're like talking about songs and your love for country music, I mean, was there sort of like when you look at people, when you look at artists like it that you idolize,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, is there sort of this songs, like specific songs that you've enjoyed from specific artists that you gravitate towards right now?
I've been listening to a lot of the songwriters because I'm going in to do some writing in November. So I've been listening to a lot of Wood Newton and listening to some Kent Blasey and some good writers and things like that. I enjoy listening to that kind of stuff as well.
For sure. I mean, I guess as we were talking about it earlier about Vince Gill and George Strait and stuff like that, but I mean, if you were to pick like sort of like this one favorite song that you've had from Vince Gill, do you know what it would be?
A Vince Gill song. I always liked. Man, he had so many good ones he wrote. Um, I always liked. I got one more last chance. That was probably my favorite one of his, and that I remember as a kid.
Yeah, One More Last Chance. Yeah. Like I can get behind that one. Yeah, One More
Hmm.
Last Chance was a really good one. But to see him, I guess, like perform, um, I think it was Liza Jane.
Hmm.
Liza Jane is a really good one. It's I guess Oklahoma Swing was interesting too, because it goes right back to his home roots of Okie.
Hmm.
And he talks about it in his new album as well, Okie. It's such a great song and it's such a great album. And he's also have a song called When My Amy Prays. And that's such a heartfelt one. And to see his daughter Karina when her mom got into a bike wreck, but she's doing well now and she's still recovering. But hearing her sort of tear up live in front of a whole audience and singing that to her mom. Um, it's that just holds something so special, and I think it sort of relates back to what your story is, with your granddad, and how much he meant to you and stuff like that, and I guess like you holding back that song about him and sort of the relationship you've had with him, and I guess we're all looking forward to hearing what that sounds like, and we look forward to seeing it released soon. And
It's the best
I
thing I've
guess
written.
would you say it's the best thing you've written?
Yes, without even thinking.
I mean, if you were wanting to expect something, or if you were hoping for something to turn out, and what you want people to take out of the song, what would you want people to know?
This song, my daddy's dad, it's just my granddaddy in a song. If it's and I think that'll speak a lot to people because a lot of people miss their grandparents, and I know I sure miss mine. So, yeah, I think that's what it'll do. It'll definitely speak to people that have had a significant loss, or someone that they were friends with, like I was with my granddad, and it it's just a very special song. I think what it'll say, it can say more than I ever could. That song can.
Absolutely. Well, it's the end of our time together, but thank you so much for chatting with me. I
Oh,
had
been
such a
my pleasure.
blast. I had such a blast to be able to chat with you again. I mean, and we wish you all the best. And to all the listeners who made it this far into the episode, thanks so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with American country singer songwriter and American Idol season 19 contestant Alex Miller. Go check out his newest country EP, out now on all music platforms. He's got some great songs on there, and you don't want to miss it. And especially go watch his music video for "When God Made the South." That's a really high tempo one. That one will get you going for sure.
It'll dial you up, that's
Um,
for sure.
yeah, and for more info, visit alexmillercountry.com for more information about him and his artistry and things that he might be working on to help support my show. Please feel free to share with family, friends on social media. You can connect with me on all podcast streaming platforms, and you can find my show on all podcast platforms as well. I've been your host, Jigme Kelsang. Thanks for tuning into the show.